How you can stop Roblox anime Bandit beaters? This is a question I want to discuss today, and so we can figure out how and why we should stop Bandit beater games on Roblox. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into the discussion. Now, recently I made a post saying, do you guys want to see Roblox anime games change for the better? And many of you said yes. So before discussing how to stop Bandit beaters, we must answer the question, what exactly is a Bandit beater? As many people simply don't know or understand what people mean by Bandit beater. A Bandit beater is a game where the primary form progression is beating up on the same type of NPC for the majority of your time playing a game with little to no viable ways to progress. So no, Arcane Odyssey is also not a Bandit beater. Now that we have answered that question, we must now answer, why are Bandit beaters bad for the platform? The reason Bandit beaters affect the platform so negatively is because of the fact that they are mostly uninspired and are copies of another game that came out before it. These Bandit beaters games have now infested Roblox and have made the platform become very dry. It has also affected the way developers think when making games. Why make a passion project when you can make a Bandit beater and make 10 times more money? That brings me to the next point, which is greed. Bandit beaters bring in revenue no matter what, because people will buy the game passes in order to progress in these Bandit beaters faster, because most Bandit beaters have a slow grind and are very boring when progressing by yourself or even with friends sometimes. People may say that they don't like Bandit beaters but will still play them and support the devs' greedy habits by buying these terribly priced game passes. By investing in Bandit beaters, you promote them in their infestation onto the platform. Even if you play Bandit beaters, simply you are more likely to spend more money on said game because of the fact that you want to progress faster and faster, because in reality most people only play these games because of boredom and the platform being dry. Bandit beaters are great at being one thing, and that is wasting your time. Instead of playing a good game like Arcane Odyssey, many people would rather play a game like Bloxers and Mountain Farm instead of actually playing an actual good game with an actual good story that feels like an actual good experience and not just some turn your brain off and become a robot for 6 hours. True enough, some people just simply like Bandit beaters because they are simply easy to play and pick up. And most people who say this are kids or like early teenagers, because it's understandable, because I was bad at video games too when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, so it makes sense.
See, I didn't know I came here to be disrespected.
Exhibit A. Why Roblox anime Bandit beaters work. Roblox is considered a kids platform. Yeah, sure, teenagers like me play it. Bandit beaters are great at making kids who are at this age feel powerful and making them feel strong in these games without feeling super boring like a simulator, which is why some teens like me may still play it. The reason they make so much money is because they trick the young player base into buying game passes and spins by making the progression god awful. That's why you see most games will add 2 times EXP and 2 times money in progression, because the devs themselves know that these games are generally not fun to play. That's why most devs don't even play their own game, and they just sit back and do small updates to their game while their game goes from decent to garbage. That's why it's so important for devs to play their own game, but that's a conversation for another day. They monetize these games by making an already easy game much easier by putting monetary things in the game that make the game so much faster to max out on. It's a cycle. It works for people that like that type of system, but for people like me, you maybe feel that this cycle is not fun at all and feels like we're being tactically used by devs who couldn't care less about the players. Also, majority of the people excuse these devs for doing this because devs will often smoke screen their players by adding a little benefit called a code, which keeps the player base from rioting about prices, because the devs are blinding them by adding codes to the game that seem like they actually care about their fan base, but truly they have already made the money they needed. Adding codes only keeps players interested and keep them playing for longer. It's a game to these devs, and yes, some probably do care about their fans, but guess what? Little Timmy, who believes devs can do no wrong, most devs don't care about anything but their pockets, which you are feeling. Exhibit B. What can you as a player do to stop Bandit beater cash grabs? What can you as a player do? Well, simple answer is to stop playing Bandit beaters and stop buying the game passes to these games. Now that may seem like too easy of an answer to a big problem, but it would allow these developers of these games to see that we don't want these games anymore. Because the only reason why Bandit beaters are steadily made, I hate to say it, but there is a big market for these Bandit beater cash grabs, unfortunately. For example, a game that has come out recently is called Project Migetsu, and it has steadily been hovering over a good number of players at around 20 to 40k since release. Another game that came out and was a Bandit beater was Pixel Piece, and we all know how that game turned out. But even though the game was bad, it still pulled over 20k. So with that, we have to also acknowledge that players, even as most developers have come to realize, is that there is a market for these games still out there. So we can't get mad when developers decide to make cash grab games when it simply works. The only way you as a player can make a change is by playing other games and showing that other games can be successful, so that devs feel obligated to make those certain type of games. There aren't a ton of different Roblox anime games because because of the fact that devs feel like it isn't worth straying away from what is making the most amount of money for less effort. There were only 2 games that actually came out this year when I think about actual good games. They weren't even anime games, actually. Voxel Blade, which came out recently, and Arcane Odyssey, both games being outside of the anime game genre, having no IP to raise them to the front page. Voxel Blade, a very great game with an in-depth progression, is pulling less players than Project Bigetsu, and that, my friends, is a serious problem. We as a community have to fix in order for us to progress forward, because we have to be honest with ourselves. Roblox anime games have been a dying trend since the release of Grand Peace Online, because there's been nothing else innovating the genre. The only way for devs to truly hear us out is by simply not playing their games and not buying their game passes. It's a harsh reality for many players. It's the only way we can truly make change at this point without complaining all the time. Exhibit C: how Roblox anime game content creators can voice a change. Now, in this section of the video, it might upset many Roblox anime content creators, but as you know, I simply don't care. The main way Roblox anime content creators can stop Bandit beaters is to voice their opinions on these games truthfully. And I mean truthfully, meaning no lying to these devs when testing the game, no making countless videos on these games giving free publicity, and stating when a game is bad and giving your honest opinion without being scared of sugarcoating. I myself can probably say that I recently have tried to do those things on my channel, and surprisingly many of you have come to agree with the things that I've said about certain games, and I appreciate that, seriously. But other creators must voice their genuine opinion with their community as well, because I see too many creators on the platform playing games that would otherwise not interest them simply because they are scared of going against the algorithm. Not calling anyone out. I know personally how hard it is to sit here and build a community against the algorithm, but here's the thing. People like me, Swift, and so many others are trying our best to make this community into something more than just the cash grab side of Roblox. The way we stop these games is by not becoming friends with the developers just for tester and just for content, but it's by being honest with these developers and telling them what's good in their game and what's not. So many devs are scared of genuine criticism and most ignore it. That's why Roblox anime games are in the state that they're in. I have lost CC role in so many discords because of the things that I've said in some of my videos, but that doesn't scare me because I know that I'm trying to make a change, trying to form a community of people who also want to see change, and I just want my fellow creators to do the exact same. No, you don't have to be an a-hole to every game you see, but at least DM some of these developers that you know, or even make some honest reviews of their game without feeling like you're gonna hurt their feelings. But we have to stop playing games that we don't even like for money. And to all the future creators that want to be in this community, please play games that make you happy and never just play them for the views. Exhibit D: the future of Roblox bandit beaters and cash grabs. In 2023, we have seen many games try to go the bandit beater route, and some have failed, but many still stand on top of the front page, which means we as a community has failed to bring a change. But if you don't like bandit beaters and you would like to see more games that are actually good, I suggest you do the things that I've stated in the video and try to go out there and encourage change. I know I might have been harsh on these games in the past, but it is for good reason. I just want to see the community thrive. When I see Roblox anime YouTubers talk about quitting because of the platform, I get sad because I truly think that before we quit, we must at least try to make a change first. I see our community in years to come take over before I see it fail. Even the Row Brothers were able to predict the downfall, but let me be the first to predict the positive outcome. A game I look at as a beacon of hope for all developers in Roblox is Arcane Odyssey, the perfect example of how to do an RPG/adventure game on Roblox. So if you are a dev who is looking into making a game, please look at Arcane Odyssey for inspiration, because VTech and his team did an amazing job. Now voice your opinions about this in the comments, but as I said in every video, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content like this one, please make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.